Yeah, hello and welcome back. A little bit of a shorter one today. Most of the week was moving snow. Snow, 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 snow. Lots of snow. Snow everywhere you look. Anyway, you don't need to see you don't want to see any more snow because there's going to be lots of snow in the video. So, what else did I do? I was on the car. I finished up doing the trim. This side here was mostly done last week, but I got these and the tail lights in, and then I checked out all the lights and they're all working except for one blinker light on that side in the front. Then what else did I do? I got the roof back. I took the roof out and I put it back in, and I did some work on that. There's a little shield in there that comes up when you open the roof. I did some work trying to get that right, but don't you know I failed at that. Then that's how it is. Some things you just fail at. And then the next thing I did was I got after the, I was never happy with the tracking of this thing here. And it was pushed over this way. So I did put a question on Facebook, the Facebook marketplace, not marketplace, Facebook 924 page. And got quite a few answers on that, and lots of people said that it was normal with tracking over that way. So I got to thinking about it today, and so what I've done is I took this off, turned it around backwards, put a 2mm spacer behind it so it wouldn't scratch up against there, and then tightened it down good. I put a new stud in and made a new stud and put it in there, and I drilled those two holes through so that it would work right. Anyhow, now it's tracking right. I'm quite happy with that. So then I've ordered up a cover from eBay coming from England, and I'll get that and clean it up and paint it and put it on there, and that'll make me happy because that'll keep stuff from flying into it. Anyway, you can watch along and see everything I did on during the week, including lots of complaining about snow. So, see you now next time, and make sure you like and subscribe, and do enjoy it all. See you now. Bye. Hello, welcome back for another week on the 924. Anyhow, the last week I got it painted, and it looks pretty good. Now I've got to still finish putting the trim on. I've got some of the trim done, but today is one of those days. Yuck! Look at that. Anyway, cold. So I'm late getting out here. It's like 3 o'clock already, and today I'll just get some little things done, like got that put on there. I'll see if I can get the door handle on and the mirror on this side, and then I'll tackle the back end of it. I wonder what I did with the key. Last time I saw it was in that lock. Oh well, I'll find it. Yeah, so I decided I'd work around from this side. So that's back on. Tail lights are back in. It's a dust magnet, this car. So I put a gasket behind there. I have this, I don't know what it's called, sponge gasket stuff, but it's adhesive on one side. So I cut that to fit, put it on, and it seems to work okay. Down to my last million miles of that. I have another roll of it around somewhere. Don't know where. It'll show up when I need it sometime, I hope. Oh, there it is right there. Then over here, tail light. I don't have the battery hooked out, so I haven't tested them. That's on. So now it's just door handle, which is a real pain, and mirror, which is a real pain. Now I ordered a new weather strip for here, and same on the other side. I ordered a new weather strip. So hopefully they'll arrive someday, and I'll be able to get them in. And I also ordered at the same time. I ordered a new thing that keeps the door from swinging open, whatever that's called. But first, I'll have to get this door adjusted a bit. I've got to lift the car up and push it back so I can open it all the way and blah blah, or push it forward. Anyhow, but I have to get the bumper on before that happens. But first, I will get this on. Then I might pull the roof to take the tape off of that, because I should get the tape off that before it's on there forever. Which is, yeah, a good idea to do. Yeah, there I got the door handle on. Just noticed this little thing is broken. One of these days maybe I'll get some new door handles, but not right away. I want it to still look, you know, sort of some original, eh? Well, original, there's original and there's broken, but I don't know what I can do about fixing that. I'll think about it. I think I can just get that trim piece, but if I get the trim piece, I might as well get the whole door handle. Anyhow, door's in, lock works, yay. Now, matter of getting this thing on. And I found this little thing here down in the door, and that's what the screws into. So I have to figure out how to put this back in right. Okay, I'll get at it. Yeah, there, door handle, mirrors on. Works very nicely. Mirror is one, it's a shaker, but I guess that's the way it is. Like the, oh, what was I going to say? Underneath there, there's the bracket, like it's in this part of the bracket that's loose. And I don't really know how to do that, but, well, I suppose I can figure it out, but I'm not going to fuss with it. This side here turned out nice and solid, the way it should be. Too bad that side didn't too, but oh well. Now, I haven't got, like I said, I haven't got electricity hooked up yet. So the next challenge is getting this thing put together, and maybe getting that on. That might be a tomorrow thing. Yeah, it's 5:30 now, so might be it for the day. Yeah, here we are on the back bumper, right? And these black bumperette things. Now what I did here, these two of them are good, right? That one's good, that one's good, not broken. This one here, I took one of these longer bolts, those bolts that I, nuts, these things, long nuts. And then I put it on the lathe and I took it down to 5/16 of an inch, and then don't you know, it makes it work just by putting these on, right? This will sit like that and grab it. It won't be like it's supposed to sit like that, but it's difficult to make that grab then, but maybe I can. I'll see how much I can get on the 5/16 back there and see how that works out. Yeah, like I said a minute ago, I'm done for the day. So I'll fix this up tomorrow. That was an experiment there. I just had one to do and that seems to work. So I'll improve on that idea right there. See how this goes. Yeah, it's another one of these days. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with the tractor today. It can just wait till tomorrow. I'll see if I can find my way to the shop here. Looks like I have to go through a couple of snow drifts. I'll try it on the other side of the yard here. I think no matter how I go, I'm going to have to go through snow drifts. That looks pretty deep there. It is. Deep everywhere. Nah, the best route might be just right over here. Yep, here we go. To the snowdrift to go. Yeah, so the last time it was drifted up like this was 2015, and I think my shovel's in there. So, guess it's going to be climbing over and getting in here today. Well, it's pretty stiff snow anyhow. Should have wore my snowshoes out here. Jeez, what a day. Oh, there, how do you like that, eh? Right there. Things I do to get to the shop, right? Oh well. Might have to build myself a shovel, hey? Holy boy. Yeah, back here with the 924 after coming through the snowstorm. Anyhow, I'll worry about that snowstorm tomorrow. These things here, see, I broke those bolts off on the when I was removing the black outer from that side, from there. Now I've got some of these longer nuts, and I just put a bolt through it here with a couple of nuts on it, and I'm going to put this into the lathe and then cut it back to about this far and make it 5/16 of an inch, and then it goes through and it'll grab onto there and tighten down, and I think that'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, there I've got it in the chuck and protruding most of the way out. I'm only going to cut it about that deep there, just enough to cover the threads in that side, and don't want to go too far or else I'll ground out the threads. Anyhow, this thing here, we'll put it in. Well, better pull that back out of there a bit. There, about like that. A little bit of oil on it to make it a happy system. Away it goes. (5/16). That's that one right there. Look at that. Fits fine. Okay, so then I'm up to 30 here, and I started at 0 and 0 again. So I got to go 0 around and then to 30, and that'll be big enough. Okay, so I'll do the next one like that, I hope. Yeah, I'll just watch one more and see what happens. Yeah, I just got it done. I'll pull it out of here. There it is, and it fits into the 5/16 inch hole. So that should do. We'll just make another 2 of them. Yeah, there now. I drilled out the holes on those washers just to make them fit over this thing here too. This one here I couldn't get it on with the washer, but it's on with the retainer there. Whatever the retainer does, I don't know. But the retainer's there. Now, let's flip it over and just see how it looks from the other side here. Oh yeah. So, looks like it's supposed to look. That's the bottom. That's the top. Comes up tight against everything. So, well, guess I'll be happy with that. So next I'll put on the at the back, there's the rubber things. I have to clean them up and put them on, and then put the bumper on, and I think that's all the trim on. You notice that the it looks, I like it without the antenna. that antenna, I didn't like the look of that thing. I like it without antennas. There, antenna deleted. Used to be right here, hey? But it's gone. And then I'll just put don't know what I'll put in there to cover over that box. Maybe just nothing. Maybe I'll just make it into a cubby hole of some sort. Okay, that's good. I've got that. I'm happy with that. Okay. Yeah, there. That's mostly put back together. And on the ground again. Have to get a badge for it. And it looks not too bad. So this scraped right here, then I adjusted the door so it's in properly down here now. And in properly up here. It touched on here. I'll wait until I get the this door stop. There's a thing for stopping the door. I'll wait till I get that before I do any more on that. And back bumpers on. Looks like it should look, I think. And these rubber things are on. They're correct. So everything looks pretty good. In fact, the car does look really nice. Any man on horseback can go right by this one and say, oh, there's a nice car. A lot of glass in the back here. There's got some overspray on the inside of it here, but it's got the stuff for the windshield defroster there, so I don't like to scrape on that. It was some in here too, and I scraped it off with a razor blade. A little bit more to go in here. I'll get that done, and some up at the top here I have to get done too. Very long there. That's not a big priority, but it's got to get done one of these days. Then I have to get a new seal for that window, which is coming somewhere on the planet. And I'm waiting for a couple of things for that door over there, and these things here that go up in these, what do we call these? Splash guards, seals, who knows. So I'll wait for them before I do any more. I won't put the door cards on until I get those bits and get them in. And the same with the door. So I'm waiting on the door cards to put in the mirror back together and all that kind of stuff. The electricity for the mirror. Haven't done that. So anyway, there you go. Now, my next thing I want to do is, I'll show you. Wait a minute. These things here, which this is the wind deflector. When you open up the roof up top there, this pops up and becomes a wind deflector. Now you see how that thing there, that grabs onto all the pieces on the car part are good. This piece here needs to be repaired, and that's where the little retainer goes into it right there. I wonder what I can do about that. It looks like I only have to really repair this part here, hey? Let me think about that for a little bit, and then we'll see if we can come up with a solution. I might be able to do a little bit of fiberglass on that. Like that part there is all right. A little tiny bit of fiberglass around there, and then drill it out. Fill it up with fiberglass and drill it out. Would that do, you think? Might do. I'll take it apart and just see if I can clean it up and see. Yeah, I've cleaned that out. I don't know if you can see. Can you see in there? Anyhow, cleaned it out well, and I drilled it a bit deeper than it was, just to make sure I got down to clean at the bottom, and then put a piece of tape around it. I got to fill it up with epoxy, and then I'll re-drill it and see if that'll hold together. Who knows? It might, or it might not. Yeah, there now. I've got them filled up with epoxy. Now, just a matter of waiting and see what happens. The very worst thing that'll happen is it won't work, right? Then I'll think of something else. So I'll have to do a little bit of sanding and grinding on them. I've got the Dremel to do that with. But we'll just see what comes here. If I don't, I better not fuss with them. Yeah, and there I've got all the tape off of this This is a sunroof. Well, I don't know what it's called. It's a sunroof maybe. And then in here, it all looks pretty good. See, here's the other side of those things, and that they just rest in there, and then those spring things hold it all together. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's where I did a little bit of solder work there. Anyhow, but it looks pretty good, and that's about all for today anyhow. We'll just carry on. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll still have to put there's the rubber things that go in underneath here. Haven't done that yet. They're sitting over there and they need to be cleaned up. That's something I could likely do right about now, if I can find them. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, they go right in like that. And like that. And they're just I think they might have been originally glued in there, but just a pressure fit there now. Don't think they'll go anywhere. And that's all right with me. Now I'll just take the tape off over those things over there before I forget again. Yeah, so I can't get out now. I got in, but I can't get out. So I'll just shovel my way out with a piece of fiberglass here. I'll see what I can do. There, so I just made myself a little bit of hole so I can close the door behind me, and I'll carry on. Oh, light on over there. I'll have to turn that off. Okie doke, here I go. Wish me luck getting up to the house. Oops, turn off the lights. Now it won't close. How come? Okay, I'll clean it out so I can get it closed. Shall we? There's just a bunch of snow at the bottom there that was blocking it. Okay, it's closed. Now let's see if I can climb over this bank here. Nothing like it. Down to your knees. Yeah, well, there we go. Made it. Isn't that something? Now I gotta climb through the snow drifts. Look at that, it's way up the door, it's past the door handles. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I guess it's blowing snow all night again tonight. And we'll see. See tomorrow. I'll have to get the tractor going and see if I can clean out some stuff here. At least it's blowing off the back deck. I can't get out the front door. I haven't bothered because you just get out there and then have to do it all again. So I'll just take the doggy out for a walk and see how it is at the highway. Anyway, whoa, another day at the shop. Interesting day at the shop today. Nothing like a good winter blizzard. Okay? Okay, see you later. Yeah, it was a tractor day today. And it'll likely be a bit of a tractor day again tomorrow. A couple of snow drifts that showed up here. It snowed for 3 days straight, and about 60 or 70 centimeters of snow accumulated, and then drifts, some pretty big drifts here and there. The snow on top of the truck is mostly from the snowblower. No, maybe half of it's from the snowblower. I was able to dig out in there. I didn't want to run the blower in there because there's things on the ground there, and there's things on the ground there, so don't you know, that's as far as it got. But here I am. I'm just going to come out for a little bit and just see what's going on before supper. I bought a shovel over here, which is a good idea to have here. Anyhow, what I was working on was these things here. And I think I'll see how that turned out, or did it turn out. What else was I working on? Oh yeah, I checked the battery. This battery here is way too tall and it's touching. the negative is touching here, so it's not like the positive is touching. So I found out Canadian Tire, they have the proper battery for it, so I'll get one of them and stick it in. Now I'll see about these things here, which are, I'll check it out and see how hard that stuff is. If it's hard enough, I'll do something about it. Okay. Yeah, whoops, there they are. They're both back on here now. Now I don't think that that epoxy will hold much, but it'll just sort of keep them lined up whilst I close the hood. And as long as the hood is closed, they won't go anywhere. But we'll see how things work out. Yeah, so the epoxy lasted about a second there, and then it was gone. So this thing here is sort of a pressure fit on there anyhow. It holds itself together, and then this slides into the roof, so you don't see it even. It's just hidden away, and it's supposed to, when you open the roof, you're supposed to put this up as a deflector for the wind. So anyway, I'll put the roof on it, and I'll think about that. That'll be, I might have to find new brackets for it or something. We'll just see. Anyhow, that's all I can do on that today. Yeah, their roof's back on without the masking tape's gone. I'll still be picking out little bits of masking tape forever. And in here, this is looking up. So there's the tab that holds it right there. Can you see that? Am I looking at the right spot? Right there. That's the tab that I built to hold it. It looks good. And underneath there, like that thing is underneath there, that wind deflector thing. And you can't see it. And it's out of sight, out of mind. And I'll likely the amount of times I'll ever take this roof off are very limited. I don't like even never likely. So, because I'm not a sunroof guy. Anyway, that's good enough for now. I have to go and get a new battery for it. I think I mentioned that, right? That door works really nicely. And that'll be maybe tomorrow if they ever open up the roads, hey? Or the next day. We'll just see. And anyhow, that's about all I wanted to do today. It's just, I guess that was a complete waste of time doing up stuff on the epoxy, because I didn't think it would really last. It was not, like, it's not tough enough. Maybe I didn't have enough mixture in it, because it doesn't seem to be, didn't harden up really well either. But it broke right away, so that would be that. Anyway, that's all for today, and I'll see you tomorrow perhaps. Bye-bye for now. Yeah, so most of the last 3 days have been on this thing, right? Anyhow, but I'll head back out to the shop here and just do a little bit today. It's 4 o'clock already, or 4:30. So, but I did go into town and I bought a new battery, so I'm going to install the new battery in it, which is the proper height. And I do have the battery surround thing that came with the car, so I'll see if that'll go on, and maybe that'll look okay too. Get it all proper. Anyhow, the lots of snow got moved around here, so we'll just see if the car is still here. Maybe who knows, eh? Haven't been in the shop for a day or two. See what's going on here. Oh yeah, there it is, still here. Yeah, that's me here too at the 924. So one thing I've got, I don't know if any of you guys are watching, anybody that knows anything about this, let's see how that belt tracks on that side. Anybody know anything about that? Because I've seen other people's videos and I've never seen anybody talk about this belt tracking over. So anybody's got any insight on that, I sure would appreciate it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so there's new battery in it. And I still have this this thing here. I've put some rust paint on it because it was pretty rusty. and that'll be back on in a few minutes, or maybe tomorrow. I need a new terminal for this side here. That side there is sort of all right. So I'll get a new negative terminal for it sometime, and just one of these ones that does that. What am I pointing at? Something that does that. So I've got the charger on it, make sure the battery's fully charged, and as soon as I turned it on, the headlights went down, so that's a good sign, or that's a sign. I'll just see now if the lights working again. Hey, let's turn on some lights, see what happens. Oh, that light works. That light works. That light works. That light works. Yay. Must have. That light doesn't. That light does. That needs. Oh, there. That light works now. I guess I gotta do something about that. Go over to the other side here and check. That light works, and that light works. Yay. So then if you turn on the key, oh, I wonder where the key is. I think it's in the back door. Yeah, there it is. Oh boy, tough to get in here sometimes. Hang on a minute, I'll get the key in it. Yeah, everything's normal on here. I think the clock's working. I'll have to check into that. Anyhow, but it should show up. I'll turn on the headlights, right? Oh, there. Headlights are on. Low beams, high beams, or yeah, high beams, low beams, high beams, low beams. They both work. And I think the interior, like the lights on the dashboard, seem to work. That light in there works. This one here, not working. I don't know what's going on there yet. The roof's back in, looks pretty good. In fact, it looks real good. So I'm not gonna dick with that anymore. And then headlights go down. Flashers work. I can see it flashing up there. I can see it flashing back there. This one goes fast because I've got what do you call those? Like that one there's flashing back there. You can see this one here will be flashing because it's got an LED light bulb in here, and it's not flashing. Have to check into that. So that's not a big surprise, eh? Oh, we'll get on to that. That'll be a tomorrow job. And then emergency flashers, I wonder where they are. This one. That seems to flash all right. See what happens here. Back sides are flashing. This one's flashing. That one's not flashing, so problem with that connection there. That was when I had it apart. I think I pulled on it too hard for painting on it. Oh well, I'll fix it. That'll get done. And what else? I haven't got the mirrors hooked up yet because I haven't got door cards on. Now that turns off. Fan is going. Yeah, the fan works good. It doesn't seem to ever shut off, but we'll just see what happens with that stuff after. This is the fog light switch, which is nothing hooked onto it, right? But it does have wires going to the front for fog lights, but I might be able to find something to do with that. This switch here is for the rear defroster. It's a green light says it's on, so I've got to presume that it's on. What else is going on here? Horn. Oh, horn works fine. Okay, so the only thing I screwed up on the whole was that one flasher light, which I'll fix. Well, soon. We'll get that fixed. Oops. There, that closes the door. And that looks all right. That's fine. So I'll leave that battery charging overnight. Leave this thing, I'll put that on tomorrow. It's 5 o'clock already. So that was a pretty quick day. Pretty quick day at the shop today. Just, I went in, I was able to get out of here and get into town and get some groceries, and I picked up that thing there on the way by. So I just still need one more wheel cap cover, like one of these things. One of these things here. I have 3 of them, but there's, 4 wheels. And these things here are going to come one of these days, we hope. And a couple other things. And I also ordered the linkage for the, what do you call that? The gear shift. There's a plastic thing at the back here that wears out. It makes it real sloppy up there. So I've ordered that, and then one day I'll get that here, get it installed and figure that out. And the door cards, like they're hidden in the back here. The one side I treated it with fiberglass, and it turned out pretty nice and hard. Like, it's a good door card. So I'm going to treat this other one with a bit of fiberglass too, and that'll make it so that it is a better, a better fit, a better system. Well, better, yep. Okay, that's all for now. Yeah, so if anybody knows anything about that tracking on that thing, let me know. Yeah, no, I did put that question on Facebook about this thing tracking off to the side like that, and lots of people have the same problem. One answer was that these things are built a bit differently now, and they push it this way, but there's room on that side of that one too. So that, who knows. Another answer was that I've got it too tight. You should be able to turn that 90 degrees, which you can do, but maybe I've got too much tension on there, so maybe I'll loosen off the tension a bit and see if that helps it out. Because if that's over tight, it's stretching the belt and blah blah blah, hey? Yeah, there, now I've loosened off a bit on that, so you can have that much deflection on it, and it turns like 90 degrees. It won't turn 180, so maybe that's okay. We'll just see. Well, I won't start it up yet. I'm not ready for that, but we'll maybe by the end of the day I'll be starting it up. We'll see. Oh yeah, there, that battery bracket's back in there now, and it's got a holder on this side and it's got a holder on that side, so that's good. And I ordered a new battery terminals for it, one that'll hold multiple cables, like the way that's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables, 6 cables going into it. And I've got a terminal coming that'll hold all that and look better, right? And be better. So we'll just see what goes from there. Yeah, there it starts up properly. It runs like, you can hear how well it's running here now, until this thing here warms up a bit. Once that warms up a bit, then it'll smooth out the idle and everything. And there's no point to, like, if I hit the gas, it'll just stall it. So you just got to let it be patient and warm it up. And that's the spring inside the WER. Like I've got, this is the WUR, which is warm-up regulator they call it, but it's actually really a fuel regulator, right? It regulates the pressure whether it's warm or cold or in between. Now I'll make sure I have all my vacuum hoses hooked up, because that makes a difference too, eh? I think they're all okay. Anyhow, so the warm-up regulator, the spring, there's a spring that goes in there, and I think that spring is a little bit less than perfect, and so I put a spacer to give it more springiness, and it works at operating temperature, but it's a real slow thing to warm it up. And I've moved this, it used to be back behind the motor, I moved it and put it on here. I built a bracket for it, stuck it there so I can get to it. Now you can get a, yeah, so that has loosened off on the timing belt, but it still does as it over a little ways. Now I took another one of those things there. I bought another one of those things, which is the idler on it. And what I did with that is I took 20 mils or 20 thousandths off the back side of it. I wonder where it is. Here it is here. So I put it on the lathe, and I took off 20 thousandths from that side of it. So I might put this back on and see if that makes it any better, right? Can't hurt. We'll see. And then I do have to, like they're starting to smooth out a bit now. And I do have to manufacture or build a cover for that, because one of the Facebook things, see how the belt or the belt for the water pump and the alternator goes around, but there's bushings right in, I won't get in there, but there's bushings right in there that are rubber bushings, and they wear out. I repaired those bushings, or I put new rubbers in there, and it seems to be holding it fairly steady. Plus I put a bracket at the bottom, which is one of those, like a pillar bolt thing, same as what's on there and what's on right there. Oh, it's one of those rubber mount things. Hooks that to the engine, so it's all, loosely hooked anyhow. Then I don't have the air pump going, which I did take apart and repair, but not very properly. And I don't have the air conditioner going because it won't work anyhow in it. And I don't like the way it's mounted in there. I don't think it gets in the way of the wiring for the fan there. Anyhow, this is starting to warm up now and sounding more like a motor, eh? And then you can go to the back and let me see, I've got, hang on. I'll go and I'll do what I call the cleanliness test on it. Put a paper towel in front of the exhaust and see if any black stuff's coming on it. A couple of spots of black. I think that's fluid. That's moisture coming out of it, so that's alright. It's starting to smooth out now and be a decent running thing. Sounds right. Anyway, but I think I will change this thing over, which isn't too tough to do. You just undo that and change it over. And I think that the tension I have on there is good. So there, okay. Yeah, there now. I put on the one that I've modified slightly, and it's still tracking well to the north on that, or the east. Actually, that's east, but it's tracking that way. So I'll cut it off, I'll measure it. I'll measure this. I measured it before, so it's 4.1 millimeters tracked off. And I'll measure it again. There's a fan coming on. So the car started up all right, but then you got to sort of rev it a little bit when it's hot, because it's running. This thing here makes it run a bit rich. It thinks it's cold again. Anyway, that's the way it is. Yeah, now I'm gonna play with this a bit more. This thing here, now I drilled a hole through here, so I have another, like a tightening hole. I gotta put this on backwards and see what happens, because it comes out just about even there along that edge, and this edge here protrudes just about the amount that thing there is off. So let's just try putting that on backwards and see what happens. It might have to take a spacer in here, or it might not. Anyway, I'll just see. Yeah, so how smart am I? Not very. So I turned this, I took this off, right? Turned it around, put it on, and it was coming up too close to the edges on here. So I thought to myself, well, I'll just put a spacer behind there. So I put a 2 mil spacer behind there, and then I put it on the right way around again, the way that it came originally. And then I wondered why this thing was pulled out farther. So now I've turned it around. I've got a 2 mil spacer behind there, and I'm going to start it up and see what happens. See if anything happens on it. That's right. And that's about the right tension there because it'll turn like that, right? That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, give it a go and see what happens. Yeah, so there you go. That's running pretty nice and true there now. I imagine if I had a 1.5 mil spacer on the back of that, it would be just perfect, but I'm gonna leave it at 2 mil, so it's hanging out a little bit this side, hanging out a little bit that side, and running fairly true. So that, those things there, they must have made them backwards in the Chinese factory or something. And now what I have to do is I have to, that stud's not long enough for this application, so I'll have to take it apart again and put a new stud in there that's a bit longer, and then that should be a happy system then. So that's good. That's cracking nice and smooth and straight. I'm happier with that. Whoops, there we go. There's a new and improved stud. Hard steel this stuff is, whatever those bolts are. Anyhow, what I had to do was, you see how that the center is just a bit higher than the threads, eh? So I had to go over on the lathe and just trim this down by a 1/1000th of an inch, so that I can get my thing here, whatever you call that, the tap and die. That's a die, right? Get the die to work on it. Otherwise, I couldn't even get it started on it. But we got it started, and then it'll be plenty long, and it'll actually look much better in there. So I'll get it on and see how things turn out. I'm also, this end here, the long end is going to go into the car because there's quite a bit of thread in there, and I'll put Loctite on here. I had Loctite on it, but I ran a tap through that just to clean it out, and I'll put new Loctite on, and that'll be good. Yeah, there it is. Now I'll have to figure out some way to make a cover for this, eh? Don't know how quite that's going to happen, but it'll happen. Now this is to the prescribed amount of tension on it, and it feels right. So it feels right, must be right, eh? And I've got it at the right spot. Yep, everything's right. So I'll give it a start up. Now that looks a lot better here now. There's enough screw that this is catching, and I put a spacer on here, so there's lots of room there. So there's a 2 mil spacer on the back, and that's like a 6 mil spacer on the front. Anyhow, good enough. We'll just see what happens when I start it up now. Yeah, there we go. That's satisfying. It's right on the center of the, well, pretty close. Yeah, I think that's right on the center of the pulley there now. So that seemed to work, that fits. And I'm happier with that. I like that it's better on the center as well. That's a better spot for it. Okay, so that's fixed. Now I'll give it a little while and see how things work out. And I'll have to figure out a cover for it, because if this shelf here flies off for any reason, then it's going to get into that, and that's going to make a mess, right? So it needs to be covered. I'll figure something out. I'll look up the cover and then make one. Now that I've got this on here, I'm happy with it. I'm going to, I've found a cover on eBay coming from England, so it's on the way, and it looks like it's in reasonably good shape. Not perfect shape. I'll have to clean it up and paint it a bit, and that'll look good. And that'll be good on there because that'll keep it from getting whacked by something else, eh? Now, as long as the cover fits over my modification there, that'll be the next thing. I think it will. And if it doesn't, I'll modify the cover. Okay. Anyhow, that's about it for today. It's only 4:30, but if I start something else, it's going to be something bigger. So tomorrow, what'll I do? I'm going to start working on the door cards tomorrow. So maybe I'll just close this one off here. What did I do this week? Or this week mostly was, getting after the snowstorms, right? But I did do, I finished up the trim. Hang on a minute, I'll see what I can find out. Yeah, so I finished up putting on the trim. I did door handles on this side over here and the mirror on this side. Got the roof out, and I was working on the wind deflector in there, but it was a bit of a failure fixing that. Anyhow, but it's in place, and me taking the sunroof out is going to be few and far between, so I'm not too worried about it. What else did I do? I've got then I worked on the motor a bit here, right, and got that tracking correctly, and I found a new piece for it from eBay and a few other things. Anyway, I'll put it in the description. See you later. So make sure you like and subscribe and all that, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Yeah, so finally making it down towards the beach today. It's been let me see, 5-6 days since I've been to the beach. Now yesterday I did get out and walked on some other trails, but I didn't get down all the way. Anyhow, winter wonderland, and the sun's out today. Yay. Yeah, here we are. Just about there. This guy here just stops and sniffs stuff right in my way. Watch out, you get walked on. Okay. Now, these things are usually up over my head, eh? Or around. They're pretty low today. The wind was from the north, so it blew all the ice out. It went over to Nova Scotia. Or New Brunswick, as the case may be. And fortunately, somebody was here with snowshoes before me, Russ, I would think, and he broke trail. It's nice to have somebody to break trail for you. Yeah, the snow came up to the level of the ice berm there, so that's about 4 feet of snow right out there along the edges. But it's a pretty day today with the sun out. There we go. Another day in Holland Cove. Bye for now.